Welcome to the Common Ground podcast, where stories connect, perspectives collide, and purpose is found in the middle.
Every week, we sit down with unique and inspiring guests that come from all walks of life, people who challenge the status quo, overcome the odds, and live with intentionality.
Whether you're driving to work, on your morning walk, or just looking for that spark to ignite your week, you're in the right place.
Welcome to the Common Ground podcast with your hosts, John Fletcher and Sydney.
Welcome, everybody. How is everybody doing today?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Right now, if you are on Facebook, or please share the live. If you are anywhere else, welcome. I'm glad tell people, share the live to Facebook or Instagram or wherever you may to help us promote this. I'm looking forward to tonight. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to make sure I can share it to everybody that I possibly can. So
the IT things. It is a Monday. Does it feel like more of a Monday to anybody other than me, than normal?
Nope. I agree with you.
It feels it is a Monday.
Yeah.
It's been like that all day. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, you're not. At least not here.
My days run into each other, so.
Well, yeah, when you don't work a normal job, me and John and Abigail, remind me what you do for work.
I don't work. I just podcast host and do things at home.
Okay, so I think for the three of us, it's interesting because when it feels like a Monday, that means it's really a Monday because we don't actually have weekends. It's like every day is just kind of a day if you don't have a Monday through Friday schedule, like traditional 9 to 5 kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say it feels like a Monday, it really feels like a Monday.
Yeah. I feel like my husband's job helps because he's home on the weekends. And so that helps me. Otherwise, I'm like, if I'm not recording, I hardly ever know what day it is.
That's true. For some reason, I thought it was Sunday today.
Oh.
I did. Yeah. I was super backwards.
I thought it was Saturday yesterday. And surprisingly, I knew today was Monday. So I don't know. Something's off, apparently.
We're all over the place.
Well, the only reason why I know today's Monday is because an episode is coming out tomorrow, which just happens to be Abigail's episode. So we are here promoting. If this is your first time watching us, we will be playing a game. We will be having a conversation. We want everybody to hey, Braden, how you doing? Hola. We want everybody to participate. We want you to participate in the game. We want you to participate in the conversations. If you have questions, if you have comments, please let us know. The background change. Yes, we have our own Monday happy hour live background for this program. So
because John needed more work to do.
Yeah, no, everything has to have its own special. Yeah, we even have a new logo for the Monday happy hour. So
cool. But
you can catch us at the Common Ground Project USA if you are on YouTube. If for the lives, you can catch it on Sydney Nicole on Facebook. I do share it on my Facebook, but I think if you want your comment to be seen or commented on, you need to be on hers because I'm not sure comments on my personal one will show up.
John's in charge of my Facebook.
And LinkedIn, it is also on LinkedIn. So you can go to my LinkedIn, which is John Fletcher. And if you comment on that, we will see your comments live during the program. So we are having a fantastic, I think this is going to be fun. We're going to try something different because I'm going to have to share my screen to play this game.
We're going to see if screen sharing works during a live.
Yes, this is going to be
great time to try it while everybody is watching.
That's usually what we do, you know. Braden's one of my best friends. Everybody else that's on knows me well or knows John well or is excited for your episode. So we've got a safe crowd here to experiment with.
Exactly. No, I do the same thing. I'll do the same thing. Or I'll be recording an episode and I'm like, well, let's try out this new thing.
Well, I mean, if I had a LinkedIn account, I would comment on all three. That is my man, Braden. Thank you. Check him out. Make sure you like and follow him also. Thank you for the support. Yes, we are growing. We are trying to really make a difference. This is all about the way I've rephrased stuff is about rehumanizing our society, because I feel like we've really dehumanized each other, and we do that through finding common ground. We do that through three core things, and that is truth over agreement, constructive conversation and engagement, and faith as our foundation. There are key three principles that we follow here at the Common Ground podcast. And so we want to meet as many different people. We want to expose you to as many different opinions and people as we possibly can. And just to say that even in disagreement, we can find value in each other. So, but I am excited for today. So during our I don't want to be exposed.
Braden, you do need to, now that you got your scholarship granted, you do need to make a LinkedIn account, though. I'm going to make you do that. Otherwise, you're just going to see your name pop up and be like, what the heck? That's me. And I'm going to do like, you didn't do it. I did it.
I love how Sydney goes straight to business, and I saw the word I don't want to be exposed, and I was like, that feels like a personal problem to me. But that's where my brain went.
That's all I do. All I do is work.
But that's why I love Sydney, because she is so like
tunnel vision, man. You got to put on the blinders and just go for it.
And I'm just always trying to have fun. But during our conversation that will be debuting tomorrow at 9 a.m. on the Common Ground Project USA here on YouTube and the Common Ground podcast on Spotify and Apple, you brought up a group called Spoonies. So when I developed our game for today, I took the word spoon and had a play on it. So
let's all right.
Let's see if this works. Okay.
Will you tell us, while he's pulling it up, will you tell us what a spoonie is? And you don't have to get into great detail because we're going to pick your brain about it afterwards. But for those that are watching this and don't know, what is a spoonie?
It's somebody that is chronically ill, and it's a way to help explain energy and how oftentimes, well, really anytime, if you are chronically ill, you have to use more energy to do normal tasks than somebody that's not. And so therefore we run out of spoons quicker. Sometimes our spoons get taken by the spoon. I don't know. It's not a fairy because that sounds too nice, but sometimes they just disappear. And sometimes, you wake up with none. So that's kind of what it is.
Okay, got it. And then just for the context of this, while we have everybody on, is spoonie a concept that you created, or is it a concept that you came across that helped you in your journey?
So I did not create it. I cannot remember the original blogger, but I had come across it through somebody sharing a blog post, and I resonated with it. And that really helped me to help explain it to other people that didn't understand it. And so with a lot of other people, a lot of chronic illness people will put a spoon either in their name on social media, or they'll put it in their description oftentimes to kind of show like, hey, I can relate to you, and this is something that I understand.
Understood. Got it. Thanks for explaining that so that we can introduce our original OG game created by our truly Philly called the Spoon of Fortune.
Spoon.
All right.
Oh, I have no fortune.
Reading a screen at this point. So
it's kind of a a combination of Hangman and Wheel of Fortune.
All right.
Okay. So the premise is that your lives, you got 5 spoons per thing. I'll give you 5 spoons per thing. Every time you don't get something, you lose a spoon. So that's you have to have spoons to complete the round. And that means, Abigail, you get 5 spoons. Sydney, you get 5 spoons. The audience, you get 5 spoons. So you can all participate. Okay? For each round.
All right, Brayden, are you ready?
So there's 3. I have, what is it? I think 6 rounds. There's 3 main themes. There's chronic illness terms, podcasting terms, and Bible verse. So, like, I'm gonna bring up our first one, chronic illness. So this is kind of like Hangman versus Wheel of Fortune. You're basically going to guess letters. If you get a letter that's not on there, you lose a spoon. Once your spoons are gone, and we'll each go in order. Why don't we give the audience the first letter? So, Brayden, while I continue to talk, this is going to be a chronic illness term. Or if somebody else is watching, you can guess a letter too. But the first letter that I see pop up is going to be the audience letter, A. Okay, A, the first letter. We got it. And we do have an A.
So how do we call it if we, like, when it gets to the point, and like when it's your turn, when it comes to your turn, if you want to guess.
So Brayden said A, right? I'm going to put the A up on there. And if he wants to make a guess, he can make a guess. If not, we're going to go to Abigail, then we're going to go to Sydney.
Got it.
All right. So there is the A. Brayden, if you want to make a guess for the chronic illness term, you can. This is actually somewhat working. Yes, you can guess. Oh, Heath, you can guess. Yes, it's the audience. So audience at play.
He has somebody in his life that had, I already think I know based on, there's only so many things in 2 letters. I guarantee. Yep. Did he get it?
Heath got it. That got it.
I guess too.
Flare up was, well, I'm not going to spell it out because it takes me time.
It is
flare up. It is flare up. So flare up was so ding ding ding, for the audience. So let's see if I have it.
And you said the spoons reset each category, or do we just get 5 spoons?
Yes. So the next one's going to be podcasting term, and because they got the first point, it's going to go to Abigail. You're going to get to start the second round.
Okay. I'm going to say C.
Say that again. C?
C.
Yes. C as in cat?
Yes.
You lose a spoon. I am sorry. There is no C. So, Sydney.
I'm going to go with O.
O. There is 2 O's. Nope. Oh, sorry. Wrong place. I'm not Vanna White too good. There you go. I will give you 5 seconds to see if you want to make a guess.
I'll guess.
Go ahead.
Show notes.
Show notes. It is. Ding, ding, ding. Hold on. Go to it.
I could be your Jeopardy partner. I swear to God, we'd make so much money. We could quit everything that we're doing day job wise.
So
we do this one every week. So I just, like, when you moved it at first, it threw me off because at first I was like, maybe it's, if there's 2 O's, my first guess was going to be host intro, but then you moved the location of the O and it DQ'd my first one. So it became show notes.
Awesome. So
holy shit.
Oh my word.
This one's a little bit longer, but this isn't even the full Bible verse. So it's only a piece of it. So it does bring us to Sydney because Abigail started the second round. So Sydney, you get to choose a letter for this one.
We're going to go E.
E. There is E's. So let me see. Right, let me make sure I'm doing the right space. Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Any guess?
No, I'm not going to guess.
All right. So audience, it's up to you. You get to choose a letter. So Heath, Braden, whoever gives me the first letter, that's going to be your letter. I mean, you can. It doesn't get you anything if you guess a single word, and you're going to help out other people.
Right.
B. So Braden was the first with B. And you have lost a spoon. No B. So that brings us up to Abigail. You get a letter.
An A.
An A. We have 2 A's. All right, double checking. Yes, 2 A's.
I do not have a guess.
You do not have a guess. All right, Sydney.
We did vowels. I feel like we need the thing on Hangman where we can cross off what we've used so far. So we've done B and then A and E is all we've got so far, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
I'm going to go O.
O. There is 2 O's. Hold on a second. Because let's go there. Because I don't want you to. Yeah. Do you want to take a guess?
Not yet, no.
All right, audience, you get to select a letter. First audience member to give me a letter is the letter we go with. Is that an I or an L? That's I, right?
Yeah.
I, there is 2 I's. So I. Did the audience want to guess? Audience has 4 spoons. Everybody else has 5. And you may want to be thinking of your next letter, Abigail.
Am I up or are they guessing?
I'm giving them a slight.
Giving them 1 second, kind of.
Because it is sometimes a little bit of a delay.
So. No, I just didn't want to just have you guys waiting on me if I'm just sitting here if they're not guessing.
He said I'm not going to speak for Heath. All right.
All right, Abigail, go ahead.
G.
G. There is no G. Oh. So you lose a spoon.
Okay, I've got
And G and B are the only ones that we have not gotten, have been incorrect.
N.
N as in Nancy?
Yeah.
There's one N. Oh, I need to delete the space. Any guess?
No guess.
All right, audience. First one who gives me a letter. H. H. There is no H. You are down to 3 spoons.
Are you keeping track? That's crazy. You're wild.
Abigail.
A D.
D. D as in David.
Yes.
There is one D.
I do not have any guesses.
All right. Sydney.
I'm thinking, sorry. Let's go R.
R. There is one R. So, actually.
Are you sure?
Oh, no, you are right. There is a second R. There's a second R.
I have a variation of this verse tattooed on me. There's actually, you're still missing one. You got to count again. I know what it is now because you messed it up.
I did. This one? Is that the one?
Away. Ready?
Yeah.
For my power is made perfect in weakness.
That is correct. And the fuller whole part of it says, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. 2 Corinthians 12, 9, and 10. Mm-hmm. And I said that because that has a lot to do with what Abigail's podcast and journey is all about. So that's why that verse was chosen. But congratulations for getting it. So that brings us back to the audience. And this is a chronic illness term.
We're doing a different one? Yeah.
Yeah, this is a new one.
Cool.
It looks like the verses are going to be the longer ones. The other
always,
terms are rather
always.
quick. But do we have a letter from our audience?
Let's go, Braidster. Was that an old one? Yeah, he's got an old one.
E.
I was like, I'm gonna text him here in a minute. Where did all our people go?
E. There is no E.
No way.
And this term, you can play a special game because you can actually try to count how many times this word is said in our episode tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Don't give hints like that.
I was gonna say, I feel like I should have an advantage, but I have no idea based on what those letters, like the spaces are. So I don't know if that was helpful for me anyway. All right, so is it my turn? So I am going to guess an A.
A, there is an A.
I still don't have any guesses yet.
All right, Sydney.
I.
There is one I. Yes.
Boy, you're too easy. Maybe it's because I know you. I feel like I have an unfair advantage. Which is hilarious because I wasn't even on this episode. For those of you that are listening, this is the first episode in the history of the Common Ground podcast where we were in a windstorm and a winter blizzard and my internet was KO, 5G wasn't working, and I could not for the life of me get on Abigail's episode as much as I wanted to be. And so this is the only time that I was not part of a episode recording. So I'm glad that I'm here today, but I'm not gonna guess. I'm gonna pass it on to the audience for guesses.
All right, audience, you get to choose a letter.
Extra spoon. That was my first guess until she said A and it worked. I was like, watch it be spoon something. I was ready for that, but we're on to a different track now.
Oh, there is an O.
Oh, shoot, Braidster.
Any guess? Brain fog with Heath for the win. Heath doesn't guess the letters. He just comes in and guesses the phrase. Yes, brain fog. So check out how many times that word is said in tomorrow's episode because I am editing the episode and I know it's said at least a couple times. So we're moving to podcasting terms. And that brings us to Abigail as the first.
I'm going to guess an A.
An A. We do have A. We have two A's.
I don't have any guesses.
All right, Sydney.
P.
P as in Peter?
Sure.
There is no P.
No P? Okay.
Audience. Was that E the new one? That E was new, right?
Yes.
And yes, two E's. Any guess? I'm waiting to see if Heath is just gonna
just throw it out again. He does that. I swear to God.
He's 2 for 2 too. He didn't even. Got nothing yet. All right, Abigail.
An N.
An N as in Nancy?
Yes.
There is no N's.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hold on. No, my mistake. There is an end.
You need to watch that because I was about to call you out on that too. I'd be like, you're wrong.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's an and would be my guess. All right. I do not have a guess, though. I'm going to blame it on the brain fog. Because I have that bad today.
Oh, boy. Okay, let's go I.
Yep. And that is all the ayes.
Audience, you got to cue them.
Okay. I didn't know if you had a guess.
Oh, no, sorry. I do not. My bad. I thought that was apparent by my silence. My bad.
Oh, I thought when you knew that I
no, I'm sorry. I knew that you had it. I know what that word is, but I was trying to add to it. Like, that word is 3 letters, and she said, yeah. Anyways, sorry, my bad. I do not have a guess, though.
Oh, there is an O. Oh, 2 O's. If I double check.
Man, you got me thrown for a loop over here.
Anything, audience? All right, Abigail.
An F.
An F. There is an F.
No guesses.
Sydney.
D.
D? D as in David? Just one D.
Yeah. Just thought I'd get the obvious one out of the way, man.
All right, audience. We're looking for a letter. First audience member to give us a letter. L. This may do it. Let's see.
Oh, thank you. Braden. My OG over here. That was killing me.
What, the last word?
Yes, I was like, forum? Like, what are we doing over here? What's this phrase that I've never heard of?
This phrase you always hear of, you mean?
All the time, but the first word I had wrong in my head, so that's why I was on a different mental.
Yes, Braden, like, share, and follow. So please like, share, and follow us if you are liking this content that we are producing with games and getting to meet people. I thought that was a great way to ask people to like, share, and follow. Here, I will do this for you guys.
Can I stop?
Oh, did it not? Did it come up?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. And that's going to bring us to our final one. And this is, again, only part of the verse. But that brings us to what, Sydney, right? Because
no, he got that one. So Abigail.
No. Abigail started the second round, right?
Oh, I didn't know. Does it reset each round, or does it just?
Yeah, no. I just been everyone. I think gotten to start twice except for you.
Okay, E.
E. There is no E's.
Okay. No guess then.
Audience. We're looking for a letter. First person to give me a letter. And it's 3 words, so it's not Jesus wept. Oh, there's 1 O. He was guessing a letter. All right. Abigail, letter.
There's only one of those?
There is only one of those.
What did Sydney guess again?
E. I guessed E.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to do an A.
Yeah. Go for the vowels. Party trick for everybody that is playing hangman or trying to impress somebody. Vowels first. Eliminate those and then go from there.
I do not have a guess.
Sydney.
I.
No I.
Interesting. All right.
Audience. First person to give me a letter. I and E have been guessed, and they are not on the board. F. Going with the one of the two. Either it was either an F or an N, right? If you were thinking that. Any guess from the audience? All right, Abigail. They do pop up with the right one. We'll give them credit for it, but
I am drawing such a blank. I'm going to guess H.
no H. Sydney.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank too. Hold on. What is it with you and your dramatic sound effects? Have we said T?
No.
You have not seen T, no.
Let's do a T. Let's throw a T out there.
There is no T.
All right. I got 3 spoonies left. Braidster, all you.
So was it T? What were the other ones?
That's a great question.
T-E and I. T-E-I. And what letter? And what did you guess,
P.
Abigail?
The first one I guess was a P, I think.
I think I did a, wasn't it D that I said? I thought. Or was it not a D?
Well, there's no D either. So that's going to 2.
I thought I said D, but I have no idea.
Then just so you know.
K. There is no K.
Uh-oh.
You realize that there's only like a certain amount of letters in the alphabet. Is it 26 or 27 if you count a certain consonant?
Yes.
So
well, there's always what 26, and vowels are either one less or one more.
Yeah, A-E-I-O-U.
And sometimes Y.
And sometimes Y. That's right. Yeah.
But Y is still a letter of the alphabet. Like
right.
That doesn't.
He said K. Did he just say K, or is that new?
No, he said K. That's, yeah.
And what'd you say?
No K. So we're on Abigail.
L.
There is an L.
What?
I don't know. Sydney, you're up, I guess.
I'm all messed up now. I was like, if she gets the L in the place that I think it might go, then maybe I've got something, but now I'm all kinds of backwards. Shoot. B.
B as in boy?
Yeah.
There is no B.
I'm stumped, dude. You got me on this one.
Audience. We're looking for a letter. Y. There is a Y. Do you want to take a guess? All right, Abigail, you want to give me a letter?
C.
There is a C.
So my guess is going to be made of clay.
No.
No?
I've got it.
No.
All right, well, now it's your turn to tell us. What is it?
Jars of clay.
Oh.
Jars of clay.
Yes.
And the Bible is, but we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us. We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. We always carry around in our body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be revealed in our body. Again, in 2 Corinthians, but this time, chapter 4, 7-10. But again, that goes back to beautiful you, and I think you not being defined by chronic illness, but being defined by something greater. And to
There's
me,
also
that
like
is
a late 90s band or something like that.
That's literally what I thought of as well. Like
Actually,
they got their name. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's 100%. They're a Christian group. I liked their music. I haven't listened to them in forever, but I thought of it as soon as you got clay. I was like, Corinthians, got it. We're good.
So one of the people I went to college with went to actually college with the band Jars of Clay and was in the same dorm, like across the hallway from them. Really cool. And I actually have a signed CD from them. I've met them at one of their concerts, in one of their smaller concerts. But yes, I know that band very well. They were actually one of the first Christian bands that I ever recall in my life to actually have a song go mainstream.
Yeah,
and that was Rain. I forget what the title of it was called, but
now you gotta like play it. Now we just gotta give a shout out to Jars of Clay at this point, pretty much.
Yeah, actually, let me. I can only do a couple seconds of it, probably, but
yeah.
Let's search Jars of Clay.
Man, what a throwback!
Flood. That is.
Yeah.
There you go. I like how all of us know that.
I used to have a VHS tape with the music video of.
You gotta fast forward to the chorus.
Rain on that face.
Yeah.
I've stopped raining for days.
It's got the noise canceling headphones.
One was for mud. But if I can,
just so that we don't get
shut off.
But yeah.
Yeah, you're on my Facebook.
So I didn't play. I kept it to fairly short. So
Yes,
hopefully.
No, it's all good. I'm just kidding. As if I care, of all people.
But how did everybody like the game?
That one was one of the better ones.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It did take a lot longer though to play, but it was.
What are we at?
We're at 6:47. And it's funny because we went for through the first two rounds, and I'm like, dude, this game's going to go quickly.
Fly by. Well, those last two were a little tricky, and we were waiting on audience to respond. So,
but I love having the audience participate. I love them being part of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Braden gave us the last one with that L, calling out that L, and it was like all of the letters were L.
Yeah,
like,
I thought I was like the like, share, and follow. I was like, that's going to be easy, you know.
You would think so, but most people do go for the vowels first. So then what ends up happening is like when you're working your way through the consonants or whatever is like L's halfway through. So it's not just a staple go-to.
But I do like the overwhelming theme of like that you have Abigail with that you're not defined by your chronic illness, you know, and that you are so much more. And to me that's an inspiration, and that's why I chose those verses, because I feel like those verses kind of spoke to what you're about. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's not to talk about what they can hear about in the episode tomorrow. Let's go back to the Spoonies, because I don't think we really got into Spoonies in our conversation that I can recall.
I'm not sure. I feel like I probably would have explained it, but I don't know how much detail we went into. I have no idea.
But I think that's maybe an interesting part that we can talk a little bit about, like how big of a role do Spoonies play in your I guess your organization? Are they a big part? Is it just a small part? Or
you mean like the community or
your community?
Yeah. So I mean, I try to follow a lot of Spoonies on Instagram and things like that, because I do talk about that a lot on my podcast, and not only to maybe have potential guests, but also because I want to learn from other people, be able to encourage them. You know, I've followed a lot of people that deal with similar symptoms that I do. And so I've been able to, you know, and they've been like, hey, I have no idea what's going on. These are my symptoms, or this is what I've tried. Does anybody have any other suggestions? I've been able to, you know, respond to their stories or comment and given them, you know, different ideas or tips, or shared a podcast episode that talked about what they're going through from somebody else and me chatting. And it's been able to really encourage them. But as far as like the theory in itself goes, like I said before, it's been really helpful to help explain to people kind of what it's like for people that have chronic illness, and how it often takes a lot more spoons or energy to do common things that people might not even think about doing and think about, oh, this is going to take energy, like showering or taking care of, your hair or things like that, that some people may take for granted. Whereas those with limited energy, sometimes it's not as simple as just being able to get up and get ready for the day.
That makes sense. And do you remember the video that you came across when you came across that terminology, or was it a post, or
it was a blog?
Shout out the group per se, just in general, like what resonated with you is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, so it was a blog post. I can't remember what the author's name is off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up. But somebody had shared it and said, oh, this really helps me to explain it. I came across this blog post and then I read it and then resonated with it. And I don't remember whether I shared the post or the blog post or if I just made a post similar, and then kind of have, like I said, explained it that way, and explained it to my husband or different people like that. And then also taken that with my podcast. I have like a Spoonie Life series where it's solo episodes, but then I also have lots of people on the podcast that also deal with different chronic illnesses, some of which I can relate to, some of which I can relate to the chronic illness part, but not necessarily their symptoms or their diagnosis. And so it's been able to have like some sort of commonality terminology that we can all use together, and also then help educate people, like I said, with the energy factor as well.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting because I know how you were describing how you use it in defining how much energy it takes. But I guess in the receptive areas, like we can only get glimpses of what you're really going through. So we're only getting spoonfuls of like knowledge and really understanding, because we're not going through it. Mm-hmm. So kind of actually almost come full circle.
Just we as in like the audience, or we as in people that are listening that don't understand the definition of chronic illness?
Us who don't understand the definition of chronic illness,
What does constitute as like, is there medical terminology that like this is the criteria that falls under?
For chronic illness, you mean? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure the exact definition, minus the fact that it's not going to get better and it's constant. So I am in constant pain all the time. Like with migraine isn't just the migraine attacks, whether it be silent migraines, whether it be headaches, pain. It is
Braden, it was rhetorical.
It's something that's, constant. Like I said, migraine is so much more than just the attacks and the head pain and things. Like yesterday, for example, I just kept dropping everything. I've had a lot of depth perception issues sometimes when I have migraines. And so I'll think something's closer than it is. I'll bump into walls. I'll bump into things. And yesterday I spilled oatmeal all over myself and the floor. And then I went to put the bowl down and it went and started falling. And luckily my husband was there to catch it, so the bowl did break. But he's like, oh my gosh, like what is going on?
Like screw the bowl breaking. Like oatmeal can burn you, girl.
Yeah. No, but it just, yeah. So there's things like that it's just a lot of people don't think about those things, that it's not just the pain. So like I said, when it comes to migraine or other things too, like there's so much. Like with migraine, it's neurological. So there are so many different symptoms. I get phantom smells and different vision issues and different things like that I think a lot of people, when they think of people that deal with migraines, they just think of the attack or they just think it's a headache. But I also have other issues like scoliosis and degenerative discs and issues with my knees and other things that are in constant pain as well. So it's basically something that there isn't necessarily a cure for, but there are things that can help manage the pain.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny for me. One of the things that I really took from the podcast was even the way I define stuff. Like people talk about migraines, like, oh, I got a migraine today. But like talking to Abigail and finding out what a real migraine is like, dude, we're just dealing with headaches. and we're labeling them as migraines, but in all reality, they're not migraines. You know?
I had it the other way around, where I was like saying that I had really bad headaches, but I was throwing up and falling down the stairs and like not able to keep balance, and sound would like echo in my head. And I went one day and told my doctor this, and they were like, that's not a headache. And I was like, it's not. But people had described these migraines as like excruciating, and don't get me wrong, they were, but like I always constantly underplayed what I was going through, because I didn't want to step on the toes of people that were really dealing with some. My mom used to always say like that she had a migraine, and she'd be KO'd, like down and out for sometimes 2-3 days. And I never wanted to, when I saw her like that, I was like, oh, I'm never going to, like, unless I physically can't get out of bed, I'm not going to say that I have a migraine. But yeah, like my doctor was like, that's not normal, Sid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I told her on the podcast, I was like, dude, I first thought like a headache was something that lasted like maybe a half hour, and a migraine was something that lasted like 8 hours, you know? Like that was the difference for me. It's like a headache was something more short term. A migraine was like something that even if I took Tylenol, it didn't go away, you know? It was like something I was going to just have to deal with. But in all reality, they're both just headaches.
Mm-hmm.
And that just like floored me, and it was like, okay.
Are migraines always neurological though, or do you say that because yours are neurological? Because I know some people that struggle with like actual migraines, and they are more related to barometric pressure change.
So from my understanding, it's all neurological because of the fact that it's within your head and your brain that is causing the issue. But there are different types of migraine. Like there are the barometric pressure stuff. I deal with that as well. There's the silent ones. There's vestibular. There's abdominal migraines. That is just with the nauseousness, the throwing up, but nothing else. But it technically is a migraine. I don't have those really, that. So I don't really know all of the criteria, but there's so many different types of migraine, but it's all a neurological disease. There's just different types, if that makes sense.
What's the definition of migraine?
I don't know off the top of my head what the definition is, but I do know, like I said, there are multiple different types of migraine.
You got me on Google fact check over here.
I was about to do that.
Lego.
Where is
yellow bottom? I'm just curious. I have a theory. I just wanted, but it's all dependent on the definition, because I don't know it either. This one's not rhetorical. I just want to know how they define it. Would PTSD be...
Okay, so according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, a migraine is a condition marked by recurrent, moderate to severe throbbing pain, usually lasting 4 hours to 3 days. It typically affects one side of the head, often accompanied by nausea, vomiting, and sensitivity to light or sound, and may be preceded by an aura.
Mm-hmm. So there isn't always aura though for some people. Like I get auras, but not everybody does. So it would be like the visual changes, or the dizziness, or the smell hallucinations, the sound hallucinations, that kind of thing. But like I said, there's, as far as I'm aware, from people I follow that are like experts, a lot of the posts will say that there are 10 different types of migraine.
That's where I get skeptical. Is like, that's why I wanted to know the definition, because one of the ones that you described was something that is only accompanied by nausea and vomiting, and there are no other physical symptoms. Is like, why do we then classify that as something that is... I'm not saying it can't be neurological. I just want to know the scientific reason that we're saying that, instead of just trusting that there are 10 types of neurological migraines that you can have. Do you know what I'm talking about, John? Mm-hmm. Like, I've never looked into this before. I'm not the person that just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You like, you want to say, and I'm not like, not to you. I'm just saying that in general, if somebody wants to say I'm calling out sick because I have a migraine, oh, well, what are your symptoms? And we're talking about, it's like, well, I've got nausea and vomiting, and it's completely omittent of any of the other symptoms that are staple definitions of what a migraine is like, are there 10 types of different migraines, or is it neurological? Or
I mean, when I first got diagnosed, I was dealing with the silent migraines, and yes, did I have the dizziness, but I also, a lot of it was nausea and vomiting, and I thought that I just kept getting the stomach flu.
But that's also vestibular, which is different than a migraine, because vestibular doesn't inherently mean migraine. Vestibular stems from an inner ear imbalance most of the time. So it means
this is true, but I've also been to an ENT, and
I'm not saying you specifically.
No, I'm just saying that I've had tests, and that's what they kept thinking. So I kept going to different physical therapy, different ENTs. They couldn't find anything wrong, and then they realized this is all migraine related. And so that's, like I said, there are different types, and unfortunately I deal with a lot of the different types and different triggers.
I think that one of the things that I steer clear of is this idea of chronic illness. And again, I wasn't on your episode, so what I really like about your story is this idea of I am more than this. Mm-hmm. But I think that we have to, John, specifically as believers, we have to decide, is God greater than, or is illness greater than? And if God is greater than, then there's nothing that is terminal. Now, that being said, I will not say that God does not grant us a thorn, because there's oftentimes where God, like, which disciple was it that went to God and asked why God hadn't healed him yet with all of these miracles? Remind me. Paul, thank you. Yeah, like where Paul had gone to God and said, like, well, why haven't you healed me when you've performed all of these miracles? And he said, like, that would be a good story.
No, you're talking about one of Paul, the Apostle Paul. Yeah, one of the disciples said it. Yeah,
it was disciple. Yeah, that's what. Well, no, one of his 12 disciples. Which one though? John? No,
it wasn't John.
No, it wasn't Simon. Sorry. Shoot. It totally was.
No, it wasn't Simon.
I said it totally was. It was John, was it not?
No, it was one of the. I want to say lesser ones, but not as prominent ones.
No, it was one of the ones that was less involved in terms of the backstory. But I thought it was John. Was it not? Really? Braden said, "Hey, John," and then in parentheses it says Siri. Here's my point though, is that like he says, like when God goes to him and says, like, that would be a story, but it's not the story that I need, was the essence of the message, is because like a lot of people have that story of being healed, and I need your testimony of perseverance throughout this. And it became the thorn in the side. But it was
James. Thank
you. You're right. It was James. Yeah. I had the J right. I was thinking of the ones where there were two.
And yeah, isn't there two James? Isn't there?
I don't know.
James is a little John.
There's two Simons. And so that's where I was going with that. But anyways, my point being that like I'm reluctant to say that anything is chronic and to give authority to it in that context, especially like Abigail, you mentioned ENT. That's something that's so complex that they haven't even really tapped the tip of the iceberg with that kind of thing. Like I was having chronic migraines after they were like, hey, these aren't headaches. Like you're not supposed to be sick to your stomach and not able to drive because you can't see out of one of your eyes, or your vision is blurry in one of your eyes. That's not normal. It was when they came to me and said like, oh, she has like a severely, like we found all this stuff in ENT. And so it's just like, I don't know. I'm reluctant to call anything chronic, because it means it's like subscribing authority on illness above authority of God.
I see what you're saying, but I also think that we can recognize what happens within our human bodies and not think that God isn't who he said he is just because our human bodies fail us, because that doesn't mean God fails us.
But is illness a result of sin or a result of God?
I don't think that it's a result of God. I think it's a result of the fact that we live in human bodies that are deteriorating because we're all going to die. And therefore, God can use that pain. God can choose to heal us, or he can choose to not heal us, but he can allow our healing to be on the inside, which is what I feel like I have found with being able to work through a lot of my stuff and being able to find purpose even despite the pain. But I also, for me personally, do not think putting a label on what I've experienced, whether it be emotional or physical, means that I'm giving power to it over the power of God.
No. I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying collectively, I see this a lot. I see people that choose to allow a chronic illness, for the sake of this episode, define what they're capable of or limited to based on something that a doctor has prescribed. But if we know that God is the ultimate healer, then even if he has said, I'm not taking this away from you, then Braden, I'm with you. Result of the fall, sin, same thing. When I say result of sin or result of the fall, it means the same thing. The fall was a result of sin. So potato. I agree 100%. So it's that God is saying that, like, I'm not taking this away from you because this is part of your testimony. So like Abigail, I think that this has been a profound part of your testimony is what I'm getting at with this. Is that that's how God chooses to use some people, i.e. James.
Well, I'm glad that you just clarified, because when some people say a result of sin, they mean personal sin. And
no, not personal. I'm not saying, I mean, James doesn't. I mean,
No, that's why I'm glad you clarified, because I'm glad you clarified that for everybody so that people didn't misunderstand that you were saying, oh no,
hold on, but wait a minute. There's a reason that I chose that word instead of saying as a result of the fall, because saying a result of sin means personal responsibility, whereas a result of the fall means I was removed from. That's a way of like taking away from. I was removed from. I wasn't personally in the garden. That fall of mankind was not my responsibility. We're all sinners. So there's a reason that I strategically chose that word. No, I'm not saying that somebody that suffers with chronic illness is suffering with it as a result of personal sin, but I am saying that we are all sinners.
Yeah. No. And I think some illness is directed at personal sin, but not all illness is directed at personal sin, is what I'm saying.
Like you go into the vein of addiction for people that would call that chronic illness, and some people would, which I know is a total side tangent from where we're at right now. But I'm just saying that, like, you want to go into that, then I would start calling it a result of personal sin.
Yeah, and for me, when I hear the word chronic, I think more of time related, not like giving it over to power. Although I do understand what you're saying and how some people use that as a crutch. And they give it that power. Well,
ever since the COVID vaccine came around, people that chose to get vaccinated, there was a skyrocket in people that were diagnosed with POTS. And I've got several friends that were diagnosed with POTS, and it's something that is like, there's not technically a cure for it. It's just like risk mitigation, and there's symptom treatment and things of that nature. But like, that's a whole nother one, that there's all of these things that are a result of personal action for the most part.
Yeah. I would agree with you. Can you give chronic illness power? Yes, but not all. Anybody who talks about chronic illness is talking about that. They could be talking about duration of time, not hence the word chronic.
Yes and no. I think that, so like PCOS is another one where there's not like technically a cure for it, but there are nutritional ways that are proven to significantly reduce it. And it's like the DSM, where the DSM is like, okay, if you meet 5 out of the 9 criteria for an extended duration of time where they measure these habits of mental health, then you constitute for a diagnosis of whatever it is. So they don't do that same thing in reevaluation with physical illness. and this is part of the issue that I have with medicine collectively when it strays from a biblical connotation, is that we don't reevaluate it. Once you're diagnosed with something that is deemed untreatable, we're not looking at how was this treated from a biblical sense. We're not looking at how do I heal this from the inside out, like Abigail said, like earlier, like that she's found that this is a source of, it doesn't define her and all. Like, we're not looking for that stuff as a society or a whole collective. So my point in saying that is that the way that we evaluate mental diagnoses and physical diagnoses is, one, different, and two, neither of them are done adequately in my personal experience, having a psychology background and having two diagnoses that are technically deemed chronic, one of which I have completely reversed and got taken off of my record because I was like, hey, I don't have this anymore. But I had to go back to them and say, take this off. And then people allow that label to define them. So it's much less about power and much less about duration of time for me as it is about this victim mentality that people hold. And it drives me insane.
I can understand that. I know people like that.
And it's not everybody, but like you said, it's just like it's just like certain people that it's like I have to call it out.
Which again is what I really appreciate about what I feel like Abigail's doing. I think Abigail is saying that, it's not, you aren't defined by your chronic illness.
By your diagnosis in general.
Yeah. But that there's a reality to it though too. And I think she tries to play both sides, and I think she tries to do it in a really good way.
What time are we at? We went over by 12 minutes.
Yes, we did.
We should do that game again in some variation or another.
I'm sure it'll come up in a different variation.
In a different wavelength.
But if you want to find more out about Abigail and about her journey with chronic illness and the beautiful legacy, which I really love, you can check out her episode that comes out tomorrow at 9 a.m. And on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. On YouTube, it is the Common Ground Project USA, and on Spotify and Apple, it is the Common Ground Podcast. So if people want to reach out to you, Abigail, how can they get in contact with you?
So that is on Instagram. That is beautiful, spelled BEYOUTIFUL_legacy. And then on Facebook, you can just search Beautiful Legacy. And then the podcast is on all podcast platforms. It is not on YouTube. I mean, I technically have a YouTube for it, but I've only really posted shorts so far. But it's on all podcast platforms, including like Castbox and things like that are lesser known. And then all the major ones as well.
Heath says, it's nice to see that Abigail does not play victim. I've been around someone that allows it to define them, and it is something that defines the person more than words describe.
True.
Well, thank you for being on the Common Ground podcast, and thank you for being a part of our Monday happy hour. I had a lot of fun with this episode. I hope you did, and as always, when you take the time to hear somebody's story, it gives us the opportunity to find common ground. Abigail, thank you for being our special guest today. For Sydney and myself, it has been our pleasure being your host, and you have been watching the Monday Happy Hour Live. Good night and God bless.